experiences, Interpol integration, working with the Interpols, your knowledge about the various leadership in law enforcement agencies, your knowledge about the expert, those who are working with the Interpol, and then your suggestion how they can be really brought and networked with the crime-free Bharat mission.
Okay. So basically, when we talk about Interpol, so Interpol is a consortium. It's not a complete like any government or anything. It's basically a consortium of multiple governments, including 196 in total and 146 active participants, where we have people across the globe. But since it's an international traded thing, so Interpol has various ways where if we see focus, then Interpol works mostly when the focus is there is towards terrorism, counter-terrorism, funding of terrorism. So it runs around terrorism and its funding in a bigger point. Whereas the second concept works for more towards the financial crimes, financial frauds. Those are of a bigger nature. Those have a involvement of economies. Those have basically potential where they can actually have a political as well as economical impact on a countrywide area, or where it can include the activities which can lead to government failures, which can lead to economic failure of a country. It can lead to a disaster in the country. So it works on that aspect. And another thing is there is another organization which is called as UNODC basically. So UNODC stands for United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime. So they deal with most of the countries in Middle East region. When we talk about Egypt, when we talk about Morocco, Afghanistan, so all these countries where the drugs are more into, so the money and the financial crimes are more driven with drugs. So in those cases, the UNODC, his team and their forensic advisors work across. Parallel to that, there are few organizations those work to curb in the things like, if a recent case, if you take with Interpol, so Interpol has curbed recent case like 2 weeks back. They have identified 3,000 fake doses of COVID vaccine. And so basically whenever it is having an impact on a major public, having a more of financial impact, it starts working. So this case was like 3,000 doses were captured in China with a warehouse where they were producing a fake COVID vaccine. Those were getting transferred to Africa, and they curbed the whole racket. So it's like, this is not the only one example where vaccine, they work even for when we produce the generic medicines, when we produce drugs across the region, when we produce, weapons here and there. So there are also anything which has a huge potential, which can change the things or has an impact with the organization time to time on that. And more division which works on Singapore is known as, basically when we talk about, it's called this thing, Innovation Center. So Interpol Innovation Center is based out of Singapore, where they keep on implementing new technology, hosting Interpol World, where they call technologists all across the globe. They deliver talks, they deliver workshops, and when they all sit together, they identify the problems across the globe and try to find a solution for those cross examination. And India is a very active contributor in Interpol, where we have more than 10-12 officers as of now, if I'm currently aware, because my interaction with Interpol has been little reduced since last 3 years. So we have officers from India, we have officers all across globe, and most of them for the Asian region when we specifically talk about, because India doesn't have very much influence on the economies except a Punjab part based on the people from our Canada and US and UK, but there are already controls in place. So the countries those involve, our countries impact the health in terms of accuracy, in terms of evidences, in terms of terrorism, in terms of illegal activities. So all that gets monitored, and even the industries, when specifically you talk about, because we have started industrialization of everything. And when we say we are make in India, yes, I do agree. We will be make in India. But the problem is when these industries will be there, soon we will become China, where we will produce something else on the website, and when it will be delivered to a customer, it will be something else, and our people, those will order, will feel like this is what the blunder they have paid for something and they got something else which looks like that. And in all those cases, that kind of crime will increase, which will have a economic impact. So then Interpol and UNODC kind of organizations look into those issues as well. But before they find this reason, we have to be self-sufficient to solve those kind of situations. So in Interpol, we can have that, but they have operating thing. And for UNODC in Delhi also, they have a branch, UNODC Delhi office, which operates for India, Bangladesh, and Nepal, Bhutan countries, where they control the cooperation internationally for the drugs. So we have most of the things available in India, starting from Interpol divisions till UNODC divisions, and good NGOs are already working in India. And probably your organization will be the prime in this field, who will work on this thing, as well as new strategies for education. And they are working all together where we can connect. And my connect has been more into people those are involved in the crime scenes, in solving the cases along across the geographical regions and even beyond the boundaries where they see the explosions and all those things. So we can connect with the people those are working in forensic laboratories along the globe. So if not more, but at least with the students which I have trained, where at least in 65 70 countries, where I can clearly say that okay, these are the chiefs of the police departments, these are the head of the investigations. And everywhere when we talk about India also, when we have 100 people working, we have only 3 to 4% are the people those are actually interested in working, those are experts. And we can identify only those people that yes, these can be of value and can be connected with the group, connected with the organization. And parallel to that, when you and me and the other people in the field, those are from different backgrounds, working to make people aware about this technology, joining hands together, so that a criminal who commits a crime here, and by the time we try to find him in India and we try to capture him, if he flies in a different country, we know that there is somebody who can help us out in actually moderating and taking these people's information and then giving us where exactly he is, how government can actually do a repatriation of that particular person back to the country with the help of involvement of various external ministries. So by that, we also need to have our youth, our people, those are technically strong in working in Google, Microsoft, all these big organizations, those are working in technologies across the globe, to join our hands. Because for us, we will try from our end, you will try from your end, to connect as many as people those can contribute to nation building. But still, because this world is complete, have billions of people, and we don't know how many experts are there in the streets, and everybody has a potential to contribute. So the people those can identify themselves, those will watch your videos, those will go to your mission agendas, and they feel like okay, these are the things which I want to involve, I want to contribute. Those should come up front to you, come up front to your mission, and join right there. Because when we see for a mere cause of a political party, when these they say we need membership, we have crores and crores of people just rushing to get their membership. And when a political party comes up, we have these many members. What do they do with the political parties? But they don't have a reason, they don't have a cause. But when you are dealing with a cause where you are safe, I am safe, everybody is looking for a safer environment where I contribute. I don't do anything, but even if I see somebody committing a crime on the street and I report it back to the authority or to the organization with a location, with the information, at least I am making sure that this street will be safe tomorrow. People will be afraid of committing in this street. So my sisters, my brother, my kids, my family, everybody at the end will be in a safer environment. So we need people, not only the experts to contribute. Surely experts will help in designing the solution in artificial intelligence, IoT. But anything, when it talks about computers, when it talks about automation, when it talks about Interpol's artificial intelligence and all these different aspects, we need data. Because machines can be more efficient when we have more data. And who will feed that data? The youth, the public, the people, those are on the ground, those are really available. Because a first responder or our officer, anybody who want to handle this particular crime, he needs some time to reach from the police station, from the office of your organization to the actual crime site. But just imagine the people those are around the scenario are already on that particular location. They can immediately start recording the scene, and they can give this video feeds and all those things on the web applications where the omnipresent thing will work. And we will have lots of videos from different angles where we can simulate, we can analyze the things. A computer can create 3Ds based on 2D and videos and photos and everything. and we can have a real perspective where we don't have to worry about how the conditions changed, where everybody has to contribute towards the nation building, everybody has to contribute towards this crime free Bharat mission, where nobody has to think I'm not expert and I cannot contribute. Yes, you are not an expert, so you cannot contribute in building a solution which already you have taken up a task to build the solution with the help of experts. Everybody who cannot be an expert, who cannot contribute in the part of solution, at least he can do at his part by feeding the information as much as he can feel. Because everybody, like suppose there is a villager in a village and somebody calls, sir aapka bank ka OTP bata dijiye. It's very common cyber fraud these days. So at least this guy cannot contribute in making the system robust, but he can give you a information, give him a wrong OTP, and he can tell you that this person is talking to me, this is the OTP. So it allows you to actually control this criminal, and he is doing his part. So it will save him from being victimization, as well as for a broader term of humanity, this guy will also help that this person will not be able to have a spurious activity or spoofing for any other person available around, because second person might not be that smart as he is. So it's about not developing ourselves, but also contributing in development of the society. Because in our genes, we say over the ancestries corruption has come. It will take years together, it will probably take 1 or 2 generations to move this corruption out of our system. So we have to start feeding the system today so that we get the information in the years.
Dr. Satyendra, thank you for the elaboration. Basically, we are suffering for very many self-imposed restrictions on our pathways.